2-1 hello and welcome to Tabletop Tales. Come join me to find out the possibilities of What If? Some time ago, I bought the rules to the Marvel Multiverse RPG. I have watched several YouTube review videos, and the opinions were that this Marvel RPG is more streamlined for gameplay. Plus, the character creation is supposed to be a lot easier. But I bought the playtest rules the year before. And after reading those rules, plus my past experience with superhero RPGs, I had my doubts about this game. So I bought the game just to see things for myself, even though another role-playing game is the last thing I needed. You can find out the basic mechanics of the game in other video reviews on YouTube. But I am going to dive into the nitty-gritty. And I went straight to the powers that were a problem for me with past superhero RPGs. In the past, I found mind control, magic, and the brilliant science technology player to be the most troubling. There will be ways for you to offset these powers that I consider could be game-breaking. You might have to consider making some house rules. Getting everyone at the table to agree to some house rules will probably be your most challenging part. There is no shortage of videos on how to be a great game master on YouTube. Players love powerful characters. Many people who play role-playing games see them as a tactical game that needs to be won. And the party's success is often determined by winning the combat in these games. So why would you not, as player, take the best abilities the rules have to offer in order to increase your chances? I decided to show you some hero profiles that are in the book. Possibly the most popular Marvel character is Spider-Man. And I remember a time running one of the older Marvel RPGs, and my friend picked none other than Spider-Man. This was a very long time ago. Every combat went the same way. When I asked, "What do you do?" his response was, "I web 'em." Never punching, never a web swing kick or anything like that. Just, I web 'em. The problem for me as a GM was that the web material strength of Spidey was so high, no one could break out of it. So I previewed Spider-Man's profile in the Marvel Multiverse RPG, and he has the power web grabbing. And on a successful attack, Spidey grabs his opponent. On a fantastic success, the target is also pinned. Looking at pinned, the target has trouble with melee attacks and cannot move. Web grabbing says a melee attack of 20 is required to break out of the webbing. Remembering that pinned says the character has trouble with melee rolls. Checking a statistic website, the average total score on 3d6 is 10.5. So let's look at Thanos, who gets +9 to melee checks. On average, Thanos' dice rolls will be 19.5, not enough to break free from Spider-Man's webbing when pinned. However, just for a case study, I did roll a melee check with Thanos and got a 24. I then rolled for trouble on 6, which became a 2 for a score of 20. I did a one-time try with the Hulk and Thor before using Thanos. Neither of them rolled a 20 or more, so I can already imagine if someone playing the Hulk or Thor gets trapped in a web but cannot break their way out of it. I can already see game sessions pausing to have a debate about the material strength of the webbing. Is the web an object? If it's an object, then can I use the destroying objects rule since I am, after all, the freaking Hulk? The Hulk player would probably be referencing comic books at this point, claiming he shouldn't even have to roll to break out of Spider-Man's webbing. Rules versus story. A debate that began since the days RPGs were created. In the Multiverse rulebook, you will find the game designers often saying, "The decision is up to the narrator," suggesting doing whichever is more fun. But deciding what is more fun is often different between narrator and player. Why did I say the magic user is so troubling? Well, in prior Marvel superhero games, I had that friend who looks for loopholes in the rules. So one day he says he wants to play a spellcaster in the old Marvel TSR game. I love Doctor Strange, and I am very excited he is choosing something other than a brute fighter. But I discovered his devious plan when it was time to do combat. He cast a spell and did damage, and I reduced the damage as the target had energy resistance. He said, "No, no, no, no. Magic is magic." "What do you mean?" I asked. "Only magic can affect magic." "Ah, now I get it. Most of the rules that reduce any kind of damage does versus all types, but magic. So thus the player felt he was unstoppable because there were little to no magic users in the Marvel rulebook. Well, thankfully in this game, the Marvel Multiverse, there are only two kinds of damage: physical health and mental focus. So depending on what spell the player casts, it's going to do one or the other. In previous superhero games, there was a player who would use mind control. They would make the roll to take control and, well, you win, I guess. And that's when I would make opponents who had artificial intelligence. Can't mind control that. But in the multiverse, they decided the target has to be drained of all focus points before being dominated. And there is a small section on whether this is ethical for a hero to do. Again, you have to decide. But if someone has telepathic powers, they will have the power to command and the power to give orders. But mind control may not be the most powerful ability for the telepath. For Emma Frost in this game has the ability to shut down your powers. This will require Emma to concentrate in order to keep the target shut down. Frost can, in the meantime, use separate powers while maintaining concentration on shutdown. But I see the brilliant scientist as the most dangerous of all. Going back to my devious friend who thwarted me at every turn in the old Marvel TSR game, he offered yet another character to play after our debate about what magic is. He then said, "All I want is to be a science guy with unlimited resources." I agreed because our debate on magic was not going well. Well, lo and behold, what can a brilliant scientist with unlimited resources do? The answer? Anything. What problem is the scientist facing? Oh, no problem. I create a doohickey which nullifies that problem. He can create the ultimate nullifier. His gadget can defeat anything you can throw at him. So, as a narrator, how will you handle the billionaire genius in the multiverse? Because in theory, the brilliant scientist can create web shooters for everyone. And now everyone on the team can web grab an opponent needing a 20 to escape. The brilliant scientist can create Iron Man armors for everyone. Or perhaps a helmet with telepathic powers. My goal here today was not to destroy the game. My goal was to ask the questions, what if? And as a game master, what will you do in these situations? I want the game to be a success. I want you and your players to have fun. So my goal is to try and equip you, the narrator, with situations to think about and be prepared in order to keep the game entertaining. Well, that's all I have for today. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. I will try to cover more about the multiverse game in the future. In the meantime, as they say, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. And consider the phrase, what if?